Have you ever struggled with looking in the mirror and feeling like a failure? Or just feeling overwhelmed with self-doubt, or just not feeling good enough or comfortable in your skin? Maybe it's worse when you come home from a vacation, or maybe indulged a little bit over the weekend. If so, this video is for you. I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what body image actually is, why we have bad body image days to begin with, and exactly how you can combat this. What are 3 things that you can do to actually help you on your journey to feeling good, not just in the moment, but also boost your self-esteem overall, so that you can look in the mirror, feel proud of what you see, and more importantly, just move on with life rather than ruminate or obsess or plot about how you're going to change your body. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell to be notified every single time I come out with a new video to help you on your journey to food freedom and body confidence. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Kelsey Wiebe. I am a NASM certified nutrition coach and personal trainer, and I specialize in helping ambitious women to heal their relationship with food, exercise, and their bodies. And I promise you, these 3 tactics are exactly what has helped my clients like Jenna be able to get ready for a wedding and look in the mirror and think, damn girl, or my client Stephanie, who's able to literally just say, hey, I really like how I look naked. So let's get into it. What is body image to begin with? Body image is just the projection of our inner picture. The big thing I want you to take away from this is recognizing that oftentimes we will feel like our body has changed when really it's just we're not feeling good enough about ourselves. Our body image is just the perception, just the way that we are perceiving ourselves in the moment. Okay, so take this for example. Have you ever looked back at an old picture of yourself and thought, oh my gosh, man, I thought I was fat then. I thought I was overweight then. I'd kill to have that body now. Recognize the perception. Recognize that in the moment, in that body, you didn't realize how good you looked, right? And so think about that right now. It is not about getting back to that body. It is about you being able to change what's going on between your ears, because I promise you, until you can understand that the way you think about your body is here, it won't matter how much weight you lose. You'll never be able to see it. I promise you. It comes from here and the way that we see ourselves. And a lot of times our body image is most impacted by our behaviors, right? A lot of times when we don't feel good about our body, it's mostly because we don't feel good about ourselves. And it's usually because we're not acting in alignment with the highest version of ourselves. Whenever we are doing things like working out consistently, or whenever we are being more conscious about our food choices, or we're drinking more water, or we're sleeping more, or we're taking care of ourselves, or we're showing up for work the way that we know we want to, when we're doing those things, more often than not, we feel better in our bodies. And it's not that our bodies have necessarily changed, but you don't feel as good in your body because you know that you haven't been acting in alignment with the person that you want to be. But there are some other reasons why we have bad body image days, and let's get into that next. So in my decade plus of working with women, especially when it comes to nutrition or their fitness, I have found that there are 3 predominant fears when it comes to food in their body. We have fear of weight gain, weight regain, can't lose weight. So either way, all of this is coming from a big fear of either I'm going to gain weight, I'm going to get fat, or oh my gosh, I'm going to regain all the weight that I had lost, or I'm never going to lose this weight. I'm going to stay this size for forever. And what I want you to hear from these fears is, number 1, if you've ever had those fears, you're not alone. It's okay. Number 2, I'd like you to recognize that this is all coming from a big base fear of I'm not good enough. That unless I look a certain way, I won't be accepted. I won't be loved. That if I stay a bigger size, or if I gain weight, or if I regain the weight, people will no longer love me. And so it's a fear of losing love. There's a couple of things that I would like us to be aware of when this comes up, right? Number 1, your self-worth is not based on the way that you look. And I know that sometimes, given some of our conditioning, that could be from our families. We may have had parents or grandparents or maybe aunts or uncles who have given us the story or told us that if we don't look a certain way, that we're no longer valuable, or maybe they'll nitpick at us or they'll make fun of us. Or maybe your parent or grandparent or whoever had a poor relationship with food in their body, and you grew up and you saw that. And you saw how mom was constantly looking in the mirror, or mom didn't feel good putting on a bathing suit, or mom was always going to Weight Watchers. And that was something that you now have adopted and seen that, well, if I put on weight, if I have fat, that is a bad thing. There's also conditioning from, say, society, right? This is where we talk about diet culture. What is it? Nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, right? No pain, no gain, hot girl summer. We are constantly being bombarded with these messages that in order to be loved, in order to be accepted, in order to have a sense of belonging, in order to be seen as successful, we need to look a certain way. This is called weight bias or weight stigma, the discrimination or stereotyping based on a person's weight. Weight stigma can increase body dissatisfaction. It is a leading risk factor in the development of eating disorders and the best known environmental contributor to the development of eating disorders in the sociocultural idealization of thinness. So what does that mean? That means that we idolize thin bodies. Who are the people that you are following on a regular basis? What is the media that you are consuming on a regular basis? I think it's really important that we are conscious of what we are consuming, not just physically, but probably even more so, what are we consuming mentally? Because that impacts our thoughts, our emotions, our mindsets, our belief systems, and how we feel about ourselves. And it is our beliefs that drive our behaviors. And because there's so much noise out there, I really do encourage you, if there are influencers that you follow that rather than making you feel comparison or less than or inadequate, if there are influencers out there that leave you feeling inspired, encouraged, supported, filled with joy whenever you look at their content, be sure to shout them out. It's a lot. It can be really difficult to be that kind of an influencer in this day and age. And so go ahead and put their handle, their Instagram or TikTok handle, put their YouTube channel down here, and let's go ahead and spread them some love and some gratitude for being that type of voice in this society. All right, let's get into some of these tactics. So when it comes to improving our body image, number one, mirror work. This may feel difficult. This may feel frustrating. This may feel scary. So the reason that I want us to start doing some mirror work is to start looking at the mirror, and rather than seeing our flaws or insecurities, instead seeing the person and the soul behind the body, right? And so oftentimes, I want you to think about this. I find that women tend to be in two camps. They're either in the body checking camp or the avoiding the mirror camp. I tended personally to be more in the body checking camp, and this is still a habit or something I have to be conscious and aware of. Body checking is when you come in to any sort of reflective surface, like whenever you're in the bathroom or you walk into your bedroom and there's a full-length mirror, or maybe you're walking next to a car window, or maybe there's a reflective door that you're walking into at your gym, or maybe you're just at the gym and constantly doing this. Body checking is when you're constantly looking at your body. A lot of times I would get into this habit of walking into the bathroom and lifting my shirt right away and like looking at my stomach. And a lot of times I just need you to recognize that this is kind of a form of coping with anxiety. We feel that if our body can look a certain way, if we're okay, right? If we're small enough or thin enough to be loved or be seen as acceptable, then we're okay. And so just kind of recognizing that this is actually not healthy behavior and is not a positive in our lives, especially because, again, our perception and the way we see ourselves can change moment to moment. But the other way is the avoiding the mirror altogether. And I know that there are definitely women who just refuse to look at themselves in the mirror. This is one of my clients and really good friends. friends, Victoria talks about this, how she just wouldn't look at the mirror at all. And then all of a sudden, when she would look at, say, a picture or something, she would be almost shocked. With all things, we don't want to be all or nothing. How can we find something in the middle? And so when I'm talking about mirror work, I'm talking about you coming up to the mirror and not looking at your so-called flaws or insecurities or the things that you don't like about yourself, but instead actually looking into your own eyes and seeing the person for who you are. And this is a time and a moment to say things of gratitude, of appreciation, things that you like about your body, things that you like about yourself. And again, I know this may feel very, very uncomfortable. And it may start with just being able to, can you say, I love you and your name? This has been something that has been pretty interesting that I've started picking up here recently, is just being able periodically to just say, I really love you, Kelsey, or I love you, Kelsey. Like even in yoga in my head or looking in the mirror, I love you, Kelsey. And it can feel a little bit strange, but it's important because it gives you that sense of like knowing that no matter what, you are loved right now. You just are. You are enough right now. When you're doing this mirror work, I would encourage you, if there is eventually some, saying positive things like, I am so proud that you, whatever it is. I am so proud that you drank water today. I'm so proud that you went for a walk today. Another way of going about this, if you know Mel Robbins, she's got the book, The High Five Habit, and this is one of the many things that she offers in that book that I would recommend for you to think about. And it's literally just high-fiving your reflection and just being able to cheer yourself on. Be your own cheerleader. It's really, really important because remember, the reason we have poor body image is because we don't feel like we're going to be loved. We don't feel like we're going to be accepted. And so if we can let ourselves know that no matter what happens, we have a sense of love and connection and belonging to ourselves, it's really going to help us through. And then other things that you can do when it comes to body work, if you want to work through particular body parts, is like being able to stand and like look and talk to that body part, right? This is a way of separating ourselves from our body. You are not your body. You are not your body. You are not the way that you look, right? And so being able to like, maybe it's your belly and just being like, I'm really thankful for you, belly. I am thankful that you've been able to hold all of my organs. You've been able to protect me. You're able to digest food. Maybe it's your arms. Like if you have some insecurities, that's definitely been one of my issues in the past, is like, thank you, arms. Thank you for your strength. Thank you for allowing me to hold things and to hold people. Maybe it's your legs. Thank you, legs, for allowing me to walk, for allowing me to do the things that I want to do, for carrying me through this, whatever it is for you. But actually talking to that body part where you have some of the most insecurity and speaking loving and kind words. Again, I know how difficult and scary this may be for some of you, and that's okay. But I promise you, the more that you can get into this habit, it's going to start rewiring your brain and the way you see yourself. And remember, self-esteem and confidence is an inside-out job. So often we believe that if we just change the outside, if we look younger, if we have longer hair, if we have clearer skin, if we have a smaller body, if we have more muscle, if we had a flatter stomach, whatever it is for you, if I have this, then I'll be confident, then I'll love myself. But I promise you, that is a never-ending game. There will always be something more. You'll lose the weight and you'll still nitpick. There'll still be things that you're not going to like about yourself. Body image is a projection of our inner picture. We have to fix how we see ourselves. That's the only way we're going to feel better. And so this is one of those really important tactics that I would want you to take on, is mirror work. Tactic number 2, journaling. Particularly gratitude, victories, affirmations. Journaling changed my entire life. That is not a hyperbole. And for me, the biggest reason why I couldn't start journaling for the longest time was because I had it so in my head that it had to be perfect, that I had to write novels, that I had to talk about my entire day, that I had to full sentences, and it needed to be in the most perfect journal and in the best handwriting. And if I messed up, then I got frustrated and I would just stop. And when I finally learned this strategy, I call it my 3-2-1 journaling method. I'll be sure to post a link down in the description below so you can have access to this exact framework that has changed my life. 3 gratitudes, 2 victories, and 1 affirmation. So 3 things that you're grateful for. And I know sometimes this may just seem like common knowledge and everyone's telling you what to be grateful for, to focus on gratitude, but I'm dead serious. And I know you may struggle with this, so right now I will remind you of a couple of things. Number 1, if you are hearing my voice right now, you can be grateful that you have ears that can hear. If you are seeing and watching me right now, you can be grateful that you have eyes that can see. If you are watching this on a cell phone or on a computer, you can be grateful that you have the finances or the ability to have technology, that you are able to be connected to Wi-Fi, right? These are things that we can be grateful for. They may be simple and they may be small, but they're a really big deal. Because I promise you, what you appreciate appreciates. What you appreciate appreciates. When we come from a place of appreciating our body, we are much more likely to take care of it, because that's what we do. When we love something, we take care of it. So I want you to think about your working out. Are you working out because you love your body and you want to take care of it and you want it to feel good? Or are you working out because you're punishing it, because you're mad at it, because you're upset or disgusted by it? The way that you go about taking care of yourself based on appreciation or disgust is going to change everything for you. And then number 2 is, what are you proud of yourself for? Not what are you proud of your kids for, not what are you proud of whatever. No, what are you proud of you for? And I know that this was one of the most difficult things for me to start doing, because all I would ever do was come to the end of my day and berate myself for all of the things that I didn't do, for all of the ways that I fell short. And if body image is a projection of our inner picture, and all I'm thinking about is all the ways that I suck, what is the likeliness that I'm going to like my body? So I want you to start realizing that when we start shifting our perspective from how far we have yet to go or where we want to be, and instead shifting to how far we have come and all of the things that we have done, big or small, it will shift your perception of yourself. And when you focus on progress and the things that you have done, you are far more likely to keep doing those things, to build momentum. The most effective form of human motivation is progress. And so if you get nothing else from this video, I hope you're getting a lot of nuggets, but one of the biggest ones, please focus on your victories. Focus on the things that you are doing well on a day-to-day basis. I don't care how small it is. Legit, it could be you drinking a glass of water when you first wake up. It matters. It counts. And then the last one are affirmations. That link in the description below, I'm going to have in there 30 affirmations, so you can have a new self-love affirmation every single day to help rewire your brain. So whenever you start recognizing those negative thoughts, that negative self-talk, recognizing, oh wait, this isn't helping me, this isn't serving me, this isn't helping me get to where I want to be. In fact, it's only making me feel worse about myself and making it more likely that I'm going to self-sabotage. So I'm going to switch my thinking, and I'm going to say things like, I am more than my body. The way that I look is the least interesting thing about me, right? I am enough. No proof required. I deserve to feel at peace in my body now. I am worthy of love and respect just the way I am now. These affirmations and these mantras, and if you can just have them just right there, right in your back pocket, something to pull up right away. It's in your memory. It's ingrained and grooved in your brain. I promise you, it's going to shift the way you see yourself. It's going to shift your body image, and it's going to shift and change the way you feel about yourself when you look in the mirror. All right, and number 3, community. So I really want you to start becoming very aware of your social circle, of who you are talking to on a regular basis. So there's this thing called co-rumination. And it's the idea that when you are with your group of friends, that say one friend is just like, oh man, I just wish my legs could look like hers, or oh yeah, these thighs, or at least you don't have a muffin top or belly fat like I do, or if I could only look as good as her, whatever else, right? So the idea of co-rumination is coming together and ruminating about how much we don't like our bodies, or comparing ourselves to other people's bodies, maybe even celebrities' bodies or whatever else. I want you to think for a moment, how good does that make you feel about yourself after that? A great example of this, if you've ever seen Mean Girls, and all of the girls are going up to the mirror and like, oh, my pores, at least you don't have man shoulders, like, oh, but my nose or whatever else. And then they turn to Lindsay Lohan's character and being like, they're just like waiting for her to kind of nitpick herself, right? Because that's the norm. And it's really interesting because like what ends up happening is like, because we want that sense of belonging and love and connection, we will self-deprecate. We will put ourselves down so that we can have that sense of belonging and that empathy with one another. But it's not helping improve our body image or the way we feel about ourselves at all. And in fact, what it does is ends up making us feel more isolated, more ostracized, more strange, because we may feel like, oh man, if she thinks she's fat, what does she think about me? Oh, if she thinks that she's got like issues or like whatever else and she doesn't like what she looks like, what does she think about me? Right? And then we don't feel that sense of belonging. We don't feel like we're able to talk about things because we feel so alone and isolated and strange, and we just want to kind of keep to ourselves. And then we don't feel like we're able to be vulnerable and honest and talk about struggles with food, talk about struggles with overeating, emotional eating, binge eating, talk about struggles with body image, because we don't want to feel left out. And there's a Jim Rohn quote that I absolutely love, that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. So I want you to think about, who are those people you're spending time with? Are they helping you to improve your body image and the way that you see yourself, or are they making it worse? Just like we were talking about with social influencers, who are your people in your social circle? And this is why I think it's really important that we put ourselves into communities of like-minded women who are going to be supportive and encouraging and help remind us to speak more positively about ourselves to ourselves. And this is why I'm so proud of our private community in the Rediscover You program, but also I have a free Facebook group, Rediscover You Healthy, Fit, and Free. If you're on Facebook and you'd like to be part of a group that is supportive and encouraging, and we call out our wins, feel free to join us. I'll leave the link down below. And other than that, guys, I hope this was helpful for you. If there are any topics or any questions that you have or anything you'd like me to cover, please feel free to put it down in the comments below. I definitely want to make meaningful content for you. But other than that, I will see you next time, and be sure to subscribe. And until then, may you be happy, healthy, and fulfilled. Bye, guys.